Be quiet.
Yeah.
Alright. YouTube, what is going on? Tommy here, and today I'm here with Vince at Tri Bike Run in Juno Beach, Florida, and we're going to be going over the differences between stability shoes and neutral shoes and why it could be the difference in your running. So, Vince, I'm a new runner, just getting into the sport. Why do I care if I'm in a stability shoe or a neutral shoe?
That's a good question, Tommy. Well, figuring out which style you run in is going to also help you with injury prevention and going to help you run faster. So if you're in the wrong kind of shoe with the way you run, you're going to end up injured, or you're going to end up where you're not running your best time.
Okay, so how do you know if you're stability or if you're neutral?
There's two indicators. So one will be how you run. If your arch is collapsing when you run, so you're coming in and you're rolling in, that's going to be a sign that you're a pronator. A more simple one is if you just look at your feet. Typically, if you have a flat foot, you're going to be more likely to pronate. If you have any kind of arch, your arch is going to be your natural defense against pronating. So it's going to make it to where because you have that arch, your foot won't be able to slide or rotate inside.
Okay. Now, so what's the difference between a stability shoe and a neutral shoe? Now, why would one help me not pronate if I'm a pronator? I don't even know. I'm a new runner. Or say I do have a high arch, how would I know the differences between these shoes?
Well, let's take a look at some stability shoes and neutral shoes to answer that question. So typically all shoes are going to just have a foam at the bottom for cushioning. If it's a stability shoe, what they're going to do is they're going to have a blown rubber all through the outside, and they're going to have this high density foam here on the inside. And the idea with that is it's going to be to stop you from rolling in. So if you're coming in like this higher density wedge here is going to stop you and then force your foot to go straight. If you're not as heavy as a pronator, what's going to happen is instead of having this giant wedge right here, they're just going to have a little sliver, like in this shoe. So this shoe is just going to have a little sliver of the higher density foam, which is going to help stop you, but only a little bit.
So this is more for someone who maybe lightly pronates, or this
Exactly.
is for your extreme pronator. Now, I also know a little bit about running. I've read up on it. I've heard of supinating. Now, why would this shoe be good or bad for someone who supinates? And what is supination?
Well, not many people supinate. About 80% of people pronate, maybe 2% of people supinate. And pronating is when you're coming in like this. Supinating is if you're going to come in like this. So in the same way, if you're an extreme pronator, or if you're a light pronator and you're in a heavy pronation shoe, it's going to push you back this way. If you're a supinator, that's going to be exaggerated in a tenfold. So you're having a shoe that's helping you go the opposite direction. So you're naturally going to go like this. Then you're in a shoe where it has a higher density foam pushing you this way. Your foot's basically just going to roll completely on the outside.
Okay, so somebody who supinates or does not pronate, they would be in a neutral shoe?
Correct.
And show me a neutral shoe.
So a neutral shoe will just have the basic technology of a shoe. It'll have typically it'll have more cushioning in it because there's not anything else really to it. They'll have a crash pad for heel strikers to help minimize the amount of impact you'll have there, and then it'll just have a lot of blown rubber to make it to where you're landing a little bit softer. It won't help you in going one direction or the other. It's designed just for someone who's going to land straight forward and push off like you're supposed to.
Okay. So how do I know what I do? If I'm a supinator, pronator, if I'm neutral?
Well, I'd recommend definitely going to your local running shop. They'll be able to look at you because they do it all day long, just to kind of see your gait, see how you run, and they'll put you in the right shoe from there.
So you look at me running and you'll tell me?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
Well, Tommy, after seeing you run, you're not a heavy pronator. So looking at the Saucony line, they're going to make the Hurricane if you're a heavy pronator, the Guide if you're a light pronator, and the Triumph if you're neutral.
So I'm holding the right shoe for me.
You got it.
Look at that. Give it a shot. Saucony Guide. All right. Well, thanks for your time. Always a pleasure. If you like this video, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And as always, guys, see you next time. Peace. All right. So, you're just gonna recommend a shoe for me, I guess.
Okay. Let's pretend we're sitting down. Okay. Well, Tommy, after seeing you run,